bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Bragging hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer helping you get your business right. We're going to continue our conversation about expanding your territory, expanding your brand, and we're going to focus today on how, or maybe a better way to put it, why radio is an effective way to communicate or share your brand. And, radio's strength is building brands.
It is. I heard one time that if radio were invented today, it'd be the most popular media out there because it's in your pocket. It's everywhere you want to be. Right. You can get super connected, and it's so mobile compared to so many other things. Yeah,
it's mobile. It's did anybody hear that the X is out now? The new iPhone?
Well, they're not even taking pre-orders for like a month.
It'll be out soon. But we can carry a television in our pocket as well, but it requires dangerous activities in order to watch the TV.
Right. You can be listening while you're doing other things.
That's it.
You can be driving. You can be working in your car. You can be working, in your house, wherever in your yard.
Yep.
You can be running, exercising, working out. You can do so many other things. You can It's the ultimate multitasking tool is radio, which I love. And even though we think about television and even magazines and print as being more visual, radio, they say, is the most visual medium there is.
It is, because we utilize our imaginations to fill in the blank. Radio has the human voice that allows a convincing and a conviction, an emotional connection to the radio personalities. I mean, how many times, Angel, have we heard, I love your show, I listen to you every day, that kind of thing. People feel like they know the personalities in behind the mic.
Well, and that's again that secret juju. How if you're going to be a part of a radio program, whether it's your advertising or as a contributor, as a guest, you have a real chance to connect with your audience. Your voice is so powerful, and you take that credibility and that connection that the audience already has with the host.
Yep.
When we talk about building your relationships with your Frank Circle, right? Your existing database, friends, relatives, associates, neighbors, and customers.
Right. To the transaction. What do you do with them once they're there? You build relationships. And if you're not building relationships, then go back to step one and remember the work so hard. Do you want to go through all that over again? Or would you rather leverage the relationship that you've already worked hard for? Here's the emotional connection. According to the Radio Advertising Bureau, says this: the emotional connection to radio personalities, 80% have called into a station, met a DJ in their community, or in some way interacted with a radio personality.
And so when you couple that, if you're going to put your brand and connect it with, they've got that connection. They're already excited, and they trust that know, like, and trust factor is extended to you just because you are a guest on their show.
70% consider radio personalities regular people, just like them, just like themselves.
Right? We spit out our toothpaste.
Exactly. 66% agree that their favorite radio stations reflect who they are as a person, and 70% said that their radio show hosts are like a friend whose opinion they trust and value. So why would you align with radio? Because if you do, if your business aligns with that which the hosts of any given radio show are participating in, you got to understand that an overwhelming percentage, 70 to 80% of the people listening like you by association.
They like you by association. And when we think about, you probably do a lot of the same things that other people do. Maybe you sell insurance, or you have financial services, or you have web services, right? A lot of people do what you do. And so how do you stand out? You stand out as being the expert. And by being on the radio, it takes you from being one in the crowd,
right,
to being labeled a specialist.
Think about, and we're not just talking about advertising here, folks. In fact, we're not talking about advertising. Advertising is one thing. It's another facet of radio. but you can get on radio programs around the country with the purpose of becoming that treasured or valued expert. You ever wonder, you tune into Fox News or CNN or NBC News, and you see the same expert whenever there's a plane crash. There's the one guy with the white hair, right? And he's always there. When you see an act of terrorism, there's the crazy looking guy, looks like Einstein. He's always there. Why? He's the expert.
He is the expert, and he's called on, and you get to be called on as the expert. Now, that's on television, but think about on radio. A lot of people have a fear of public speaking.
Yep.
But think about this. You have probably been really comfortable using the telephone ever since you were a kid.
Sure.
And when you speak on the radio, when you are a radio expert and a guest host on a radio, or a guest on the radio, you're actually doing it from your landline. And yes, landline is preferred versus your cell phone, but you get to be super comfortable. Remember spending time talking to your best friend?
Of course.
Right? And you were really comfortable.
Yep.
Right? Because the person wanted to listen to you.
Sure.
They liked what you had to say.
And I don't want to hang up.
Right? The interviewer is very interested in what you have to say. You are their guest. So they want to listen to you. They want to learn from you. They want their audience to listen to you and learn from you. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. You can be wearing your bathrobe if you like. And it's a way that you get to establish yourself as the expert in your field, separates you from everybody else in your industry.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about becoming that industry expert, and that's fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the branding and then the advertising of your brand on radio, because there's some pretty amazing advertising statistics that come out of radio. And again, this is coming from the Radio Advertising Bureau. This is not Eric and Angel said. This is the industry reporting. A media advertiser saw a 16% conversion rate for promos when using radio as a reminder medium, building increased frequency. So what that means is, it wasn't the only time they shared their product. It was a layer that reminded them, the target audience, of their product.
Okay. All right. Yes.
It's all about frequency. It's all about layering and frequency and layering and frequency. Radio advertising topped, get this, television, social media, and direct mail, and was considered 2 times more effective as newspapers in influencing healthcare choices when the whole switch came over with the Obamacare.
Wow.
Right?
Right. There's statistics and data to back this up. When you think about radio as a medium for marketing, it usually outperforms every other element.
And people say,
for cost per dollar.
Right. And will it necessarily cost you? No, it doesn't have to cost you anything if you are an industry expert. Now, if you want to say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, then that's called advertising, and that's where you give money to the radio station for that. If instead you want to be an industry expert, people like Angel and I are looking for people who are experts in their industry, because but you have to be aware of the format. We're Positive Business Talk. If you come in and start bashing somebody else, you're not likely to get reinvited back on the radio show, right? And or even make it past the original filter. But it doesn't have to cost you anything in order to become that expert.
It doesn't. And so when you think about your messaging and think about creating loyalty and brand awareness, you can multi-purpose your radio campaigns. There's a lot of opportunity before you're even on the radio to let your audience know, let your fan base know, I'm going to be featured as the expert. And your credibility rises. Your brand is now top of mind. Your tip of tongue. You give them a chance to actually share you with their sphere of influence. So even if it's more than just the radio audience that you are speaking to, because of the shareability of it, you actually tap into that 3 degrees of connection that is already connected to you, and you had no other way to connect with.
There it is. Radio is a fantastic way to expand your brand, and we would love to engage you in that conversation. If you've got questions, give us a call. It's radio@experiencepros.com. Radio at experiencepros.com. Back after these messages, Angel Tessie and Eric Kramer helping you get your business right.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros radio show. Contact them on the web at experiencepros.com.
KDMT, Denver's Money Talk.